Billionaire tycoon. Victor Sterling needed a wife by Friday, or he'd lose everything. From the back of his limo, he scanned the rainy streets for a pawn, and then he saw her, a girl huddled in a doorway, the perfect picture of anonymous desperation. He would offer her a fortune to play his wife, seeing her as nothing more than a problem money could solve, a temporary inconvenience he could pay to disappear. But Victor didn't know he'd just made the biggest mistake of his life. He hadn't just picked the wrong girl. He'd hired the one woman with the power to burn his entire world to the ground, because this was no homeless girl. This was Amelia Vance, a brilliant corporate auditor forced into hiding, and she was about to turn his desperate plan into the perfect weapon for her revenge. Victor Sterling was a man backed into a corner. His family's company, Sterling Industries, was about to merge with the corporate giant, Titan Corp. The problem was a clause in his father's will. To inherit the controlling shares of his company and approve the deal, Victor had to be married. With the board full of Titan loyalists eager to see him fail, he had less than a week. His solution was cold and ruthless. Find a woman with no connections and no future, someone he could control and then discard. That's when he saw Sarah. To him, she was a dirty face in a doorway, a life he could purchase for 1 month. Stepping out of his car with pure arrogance, he made his pitch. It wasn't a proposal, it was a transaction. $1 million for 1 month. Play the loving wife, then vanish. He expected tears. He expected gratitude. What he never expected was the flash of cold, calculating intelligence in her eyes, an intensity she buried instantly behind a mask of helpless confusion. From behind that mask, Amelia Vance saw her opening. She'd been on the streets for months, hiding from assassins sent by Titan Corp after her audit uncovered their colossal fraud. The name Titan was all she needed to hear. This offer wasn't a lifeline, it was a weapon, a golden ticket back inside the world of her enemies, and a chance to finally finish what she started. Playing the part of a frightened, overwhelmed girl, she agreed. Victor smirked, confident he'd found the perfect puppet. He had no idea he'd just handed the puppet master her strings. The transformation from street girl to socialite was immediate. Sarah was cleaned, styled, and moved into Victor's cold, sterile penthouse. Victor and his staff treated her with disdain, like a project to be managed rather than a person. His prickly assistant, Eleanor, was tasked with her wife training, attempting to school her in the world of high finance. And it was during one of these lessons that Amelia's carefully constructed facade showed its first crack. Reviewing the merger prospectus, Amelia casually corrected Eleanor on a complex point about offshore asset valuation. The room fell silent. Realizing her slip, Amelia quickly claimed she'd overheard it on the news. Eleanor scoffed, but Victor, watching from the doorway, felt the first prick of suspicion. Her comment was too sharp, too knowledgeable for a woman supposedly from the streets. A seed of suspicion was planted. Victor began watching her, intrigued by the puzzle she presented. He didn't know that each night, after playing the role of Sarah, Amelia was secretly at work. Using a burner phone, she hacked into the merger's encrypted files. What she found was staggering. The fraud at Titan was designed not just to enrich its executives, but to deliberately collapse Sterling Industries after the merger, with Victor framed to take the fall. He wasn't her primary enemy. He was just the next target. This discovery changed everything. As Victor's suspicion grew, so did his fascination. He'd find her staring at stock tickers with a fierce intensity, or poring over financial journals she claimed were just for the pictures. One evening, he took her to a quiet jazz club, away from the prying eyes of his world. And there, he saw a glimpse of the real woman, not the project, not the pawn, but a person of sharp wit and incredible resilience. For the first time, an undeniable spark ignited between them, complicating everything. The night of the Sterling Titan merger gala was the final act. The ballroom was filled with corporate predators. Standing on Victor's arm, Amelia scanned the crowd and her blood ran cold. She saw them, the executives from Titan Corp, the men who had ordered her assassination. They smirked at Victor's charity case wife, seeing nothing but a prop. They had no idea they were staring at their own executioner. The moment of truth arrived. Victor and the CEO of Titan Corp stood on stage, pens poised to sign the contracts that would seal Victor's doom. As the cameras flashed, Amelia made her move. "Stop," she said. Her voice wasn't weak or timid. It was cold, clear, and cut through the stunned silence with chilling authority. Victor turned, hissing at her to get back in line, but she ignored him. She walked to the podium, took the microphone, and locked eyes with the horrified executives. "My name is not Sarah," she announced. "My name is Amelia Vance. I was the lead auditor for Titan Corp, and I'm the woman you failed to kill." A collective gasp ripped through the room. Before anyone could react, the massive screen behind the stage flickered to life. Instead of the new company logo, it displayed a web of spreadsheets, offshore bank records, and damning emails. "For the last 6 months," Amelia's voice boomed, "Titan's executive board has orchestrated the largest fraud in this industry's history. They plan to bury their crimes by bankrupting Sterling Industries and framing Victor Sterling for it all." She walked the shell-shocked audience through every piece of evidence, exposing the entire conspiracy with surgical precision. Chaos erupted. Reporters surged forward as security moved in on the panicked executives. The glittering gala had become the scene of a spectacular corporate execution. In the chaos, Victor stood frozen, staring at the woman he'd so arrogantly misjudged. He wasn't looking at a pawn or a fake wife. He was looking at a warrior who had just saved his entire legacy. The consequences were swift. The Titan executives were arrested, the merger was canceled, and Sterling Industries was pulled back from the abyss. In the now silent ballroom, Victor approached her. His arrogance was shattered, replaced by pure awe. "I'm sorry," he began, the words feeling inadequate, "for how I treated you, for who I thought you were. You saved everything." Amelia simply nodded. Her mission was complete. But looking at the man before her, she realized that while one chapter had closed, another, far more unexpected one, was just beginning. He had hired a fake wife to save his company, but the woman standing before him had saved his life. He reached for her hand, not as part of a contract, but with a genuine, hesitant hope. She took it. The deal was done, the lies were gone, and for the first time, what stood between them was real. If you enjoyed this story, be sure to like, share, and subscribe for more dramatic recaps just like this one. Let us know in the comments what you thought of Amelia's ultimate revenge.